Hello everyone, how are you all? I welcome you all to the channel Vidya Guru. In this session, we will be discussing current affairs from the month of February. All the important current affairs from the month are going to be discussed in this video. If you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends and do subscribe to the channel Vidya Guru. This video is going to be in English. अगर आपको सेम वीडियो का हिंदी वर्जन देखना है सेम क्वेश्चंस के साथ तो आप चैनल की प्लेलिस्ट में जाकर चेक कर सकते हैं, वहां पर आपको सेम कंटेंट का एक हिंदी वर्जन भी मिल जाएगा. दिस वीडियो इज इन English. So without any delay, let's start. In the first news, we'll be talking about India's first advanced hypersonic wind tunnel, which was inaugurated at Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Missile Complex. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam ji was our 11th president. I request you to revise all the presidents of our country that has been elected till now. And this missile complex is in Hyderabad, which is the capital of Telangana. Telangana, as you know, is the newest state that was formed in 2014, and this was the 29th state of our country. But as we have dissolved the status of Jammu and Kashmir as a state, we have Telangana as 28th state. So in India, there are 28 states left. Telangana is the newest state. So in this state, the capital of this state in Hyderabad, we have got a first advanced hypersonic wind tunnel. This tunnel was inaugurated by Rajnath Singh ji. He is our defense minister. And for about this tunnel, let me tell you that after America and Russia, India is the third country to have such a large facility in terms of size and operating capability. Okay, so India is the third country to have such a large facility. So it is a kind of big thing for us. So it is important for you. It may come in your examination. And this tunnel has one unique thing, which is that it is indigenously developed. So we did not take any help from other countries. We developed it on our own. India developed it on its own. So this facility is a property of DRDO. So DRDO's static information that you must know is going to be discussed here. First is that the chairman of DRDO is G. Satish Reddy, and DRDO was founded in 1958. It comes under Ministry of Defense, and our defense minister is Rajnath Singh ji. We have already discussed that. And DRDO's headquarters is in New Delhi. So this much information is necessary for you to know. And when we talk about Telangana, Telangana's CM is K. Chandrasekhar Rao. Its governor is Tamilisai Sundararajan. Foundation Day is important for you. Telangana's Foundation Day is on actually it is on 2nd June 2014. Telangana was formed on 2nd June 2014. Since 2014, Telangana celebrates its Foundation Day on 2nd June. So 2nd June is important for you. And Telangana has 17 representations in Lok Sabha, while it has 7 Rajya Sabha representations in our parliament. So this much static information is important for you from the point of view of Telangana state. Okay, let's move forward and talk about Cologne Boxing World Cup 2020. This Cologne Boxing World Cup was held in Germany. Venue is important for you, and India's performance is also important. Indian boxers have bagged 9 medals, including 3 golds, 2 silver, and 4 bronze at this World Cup. This World Cup was held in Germany, and in which city of Germany? It was in Cologne, which is also called Köln in German language. India finished second in the overall medals list, and Germany topped the list with 16 medals. India got 9 medals, Germany got 16 medals. So this is important for you. And one more thing which is important is European Boxing Confederation hosted this World Cup. Okay. And as we have talked about Germany, the static information that you must know about Germany is that the Chancellor of Germany is Angela Merkel. Actually, the chief of the government in Germany is called Chancellor. In India, we call him PM. In USA, we call it him President. But in Germany, it is called Chancellor. And the official name of Germany is Federal Republic of Germany. Its capital is Berlin and its currency is Euro. Okay, this much information is enough for you. Let's move forward and talk about the MOU signed with Israel. India signs MOU on building climate resilient infra and green healthcare with Israel. And another MOC, MOU, not MOU, it's MOC, Memorandum of Cooperation with Japan. India signs MOC in steel production with Japan. Actually, there are two terms, MOU and MOC. MOU stands for Memorandum of Understanding, while MOC stands for Memorandum of Cooperation. So we have signed an MOU with Israel in building climate resilient infra and green healthcare sector. And with Japan, we have signed it in steel production. So as we have talked about Israel, let's see what this MOU will give. The aim of this MOU is to initiate a bilateral program to accelerate innovation and technology cooperation between startups and corporates from both countries. Okay, both countries, and to bring together Israeli and Indian entrepreneurs and startups to collaborate on innovative projects. So to encounter these two issues, we have signed this MOU. And the MOC signed with Japan would help enhance people-to-people contacts and foster mobility of workers and skilled professionals from India to Japan. So it will help our people who want to work in Japan and the people who want to work in India, from the people from Japan who want to work in India. This MOC will help them as well. So this is a basic framework for partnership for proper operation of the system. As we have talked about Israel, let's see the static information. PM of the country is Benjamin Netanyahu. Its currency is Israeli shekel. Capital of the country is Jerusalem. And the important point which is asked in many examinations before is the name of the parliament. The parliament of Israel is called Knesset. 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 K is silent here. And about Japan, you must know that the PM of the country is Yoshihide Suga. Recently, due to in the COVID pandemic time, the PM of the Japan has been changed, and Yoshihide Suga from the same party, okay, from the same government, has been elected as the PM. Government has not been changed in Japan. Only the PM has resigned and the new PM Yoshihide Suga has been appointed. Currency of the country is yen, Japanese yen sometimes it is called, and the capital of the country is Tokyo. And its parliament's name is also asked in many examination, which is Diet. Okay, Diet. So these two parliaments are important and asked in many examinations. Now let's move forward and talk about the next news, which is the author of Light of Asia, the poem that defined the Buddha. It is Buddha, not Buddha. I don't know why people call Ram as Rama, Yoga as Yoga. So it is not Buddha, it is Buddha. We Indians can speak Buddha. The English people or the Europeans who cannot speak Buddha are usually found calling it Buddha. But why don't we call it Buddha? Why do we follow them when we speak English. Even when we speak Hindi, I have seen people calling Buddha as Buddha. So I don't know why. So this is the book which is The Light of Asia, and you must not get confused with the other book with the same name which was written by Edwin Arnold. Edwin Arnold also has a book written named The Light of Asia, but this book has a full name, The Light of Asia, the poem that defined the Buddha. So you must clearly differentiate between these two books. And this book has been written by Jai Ram Ramesh ji. He is an MP of Rajya Sabha from Karnataka. He is from Congress party. And about Karnataka, you must know the basic static GS, which is B.S. Yediyurappa is the CM of the state. Governor of the state is Vajubhai Wala. Capital is Bengaluru. It has 27 Lok Sabha representations and 12 Rajya Sabha representations. Let's move forward and talk about Madhav Govind Vaidya, who died recently, was the first spokesperson of RSS. RSS is an organization and its first spokesperson has recently died. His name was Madhav Govind Vaidya. He was of 97 years and he recently recovered from corona as well. About RSS, you must know that it is one of the such organizations which was in existence before our independence. RSS was founded in 1925, 27 September, and the founder of this organization was Dr. K.B. Hedgewar, which stands for Keshav Balaram Hedgewar. He was a prominent figure at that time and he founded this organization. His he was the first Sar Sangchalak as well. The chief of RSS is called Sar Sangchalak. The name is important for you. And the current Sar Sangchalak is also important, who is Mohan Bhagwat. Mohan Bhagwat is the current Sar Sangchalak and he is the sixth Sar Sangchalak of this organization. This organization has been in news for many reasons. It has been banned in history for thrice, three times, and after that, it continues to serve the country. So it is an important organization, and you must know about this. Let's move forward and talk about post-metric scholarship scheme for 4 crore scheduled caste students, which is of worth 59,000 crore. Such a budget has been released by our government for post-metric education, post-metric scholarship for scheduled caste students. See, the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has approved an investment of rupees 59,000 crore in the centrally sponsored post-metric scholarship scheme, which will benefit more than 4 crore SC students in the next 5 years. Okay, and in this scheme, the share of the union government will be 60% and the 40% will be shared by the state government. Okay, so this is what you must know about this scheme. Schemes are regularly asked in many examinations, so you must know this much information about this scheme. Let's move forward and talk about India starts manufacturing high power locomotives at Madhepura. Madhepura is in Bihar, and India has started high power locomotive manufacturing. See, till now we did not have such manufacturing capability or say manufacturing unit, so we used to directly buy it from other countries, usually from France. Alstom is the country which delivered us the high power locomotives, and these locomotives are used in freight carrier only. Freight carrier is the mal gadi. In local words, it is called mal gadi. And to improve that, we are now uh, upgrading our network, and in that step it is also a part. So Indian Railway gets its 50th high-speed freight locomotive from Alstom. We have recently got 50th high-speed freight locomotive, and Indian Railways will use these locomotives for faster movement of goods, especially coal and iron ore. Okay, so these are the only freight e-locos approved by Indian Railways to run at a speed of 120 kilometer per hour. Okay, so this much is the capability that these locomotives have. And India becomes sixth country to manufacture high power electric locomotives indigenously. So this is also important for you. It is a joint venture between Indian Railway and Alstom France. Alstom is a company from France. Let's move forward and talk about Global Media and Film Summit 2021, which is going to be hosted by India. India is going to host this Global Media and Film Summit. The Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting said that India will also set up a special pavilion at Cannes in 2022 on the occasion of Cannes Film Festival 75th year celebration. Cannes Festival in 2022 is going to be the 75th year, and in that celebration India will set up a special pavilion there. So this is the information, and with this the static information that you must know is that the Cannes Film Festival is held annually in France. Cannes actually is a coastal city in France, and this festival is celebrated annually in that city. It is important, it is asked in many examinations, so you must know when it was founded. It was founded in 1946, as if you remember that it was 1945 when World War ended, and in the next year the Cannes Film Festival started. So you can remember this with that link. Okay, as we have discussed about France, the static information that you must know about France is that its president is Emmanuel Macron, its capital is Paris, its currency is Euro. Let's move forward and talk about Union Cabinet approves revised air services agreement with Philippines and Afghanistan. With these two countries, we have revised our air services agreement, and with these agreements, the airlines will be able to run their services in the countries without restrictions, the restrictions which were enforced due to COVID pandemic. So these restrictions are revised, so the services will improve with this. And Afghanistan is an important point, as an important topic for you. The static information from this is asked in various examination. So first thing that we are going to discuss about Afghanistan is that its parliament was built by India, and there is a block named Atal block present in the Afghanistan parliament, which was inaugurated by RPM Narendra Modi ji in 2015. And another fact that is asked from Afghanistan is that the name of the border of Afghanistan and Pakistan. This border is named as Durand Line. Durand Line. So there are actually three different borders that are asked. First is Durand Line, second is Red Cliff Line, third is McMahon Line. These three lines are the borders of India for the three different countries. Actually, Durand Line is a border of Pakistan and Afghanistan. Actually, it was the border of Afghanistan and British India when it was demarcated, and it was established in 1893. So at that time it was India's border with Afghanistan, but after 1947 it became border of Pakistan and Afghanistan. So but India and Pakistan's border was named as Red Cliff Line. India's border with Pakistan as well as with Bangladesh is named as Red Cliff Line, because at that time the Bangladesh was Pakistan. And the McMahon Line is the border with China. It was established in 1914. So I have discussed about three borders here. First is Duvin Line, which was established in 1893. It is the border of Afghanistan with Pakistan. Red Cliff Line, which is the border of India and Pakistan and India and Bangladesh. It was established in obviously 1947. And McMahon Line, which was established in 1914, is the border of India with China. It although it has dispute with from Chinese as well as Indian point of view, but we still consider it as border. Let's move forward and talk about the largest hockey stadium that is to come up in Odisha. Odisha's Rourkela is going to have the largest hockey stadium of our country, and India is going to host 2023 Hockey World Cup in that stadium. This Hockey World Cup is going to be the 15th edition of the tournament, and in the previous edition of this World Cup was also held in India, in the same state in Odisha. Okay, so this is important for you. And last year's champion was Belgium. This small fact is also important. Hockey is the national sport of India, and as you know how good India was at a time in hockey, but with the time India's performance degraded and other countries improved themselves in the sport, so it is not that much popular nowadays. And about hockey, you must know that at a time India was the best team. You know that in Olympics, India has secured only 9 gold medals, but out of those 9 medals, India has secured 8 gold medals in hockey only. And the other one, the ninth medal, which was won by Abhinav Bindra, it was in shooting. So 8 out of 9 medals are in hockey. So you can imagine how good we were at hockey. As we have discussed Odisha, the CM of Odisha is Naveen Patnaik, Governor is Ganeshi Lal, Lok Sabha has 21 representations from Odisha, and Rajya Sabha has 10 representations from the state. Its capital is Bhubaneswar. Let's move forward and talk about the new president of ASSOCHAM, Vineet Agrawal. Vineet Agrawal has been appointed as the new president of ASSOCHAM body. ASSOCHAM actually is a non-governmental organization, and this organization is plays a very important role in our economy. It has a good impact on governments as well, because many big companies are a part of this body. Similarly, there is another body which is called FICCI, also has same status. Okay, so these two bodies are important for you. The goal of this organization is to promote both domestic and international trade and reduce trade barriers while fostering conducive environment for the growth of trade and industry of India. So this was ASSOCHAM's aim. And ASSOCHAM was founded in 1920 and its headquarters is in New Delhi. We have talked about Vineet Agrawal, who is the new president of the body. Vineet Agrawal is currently the MD of Logistics Major Transport Corporation of India. Okay, and as we have discussed FICCI as well, the FICCI was founded in 1927 and its headquarters is also in New Delhi. The president was discussed in November month's current affairs. So he is Uday Shankar. Okay, so these two organizations are important for you. Let's move forward to the next news, which is that BCCI's new chairman of selectors has been appointed, who is Chetan Sharma. Chetan Sharma has been appointed a head of a 3-member committee, which is the All India Senior Selection Committee for men's team for cricket. Okay, Cricket Advisory Committee has appointed these 3 people. First one is Chetan Sharma, Mr. Chetan Sharma. He is the head of the committee. And second one is Abhay Kuruvilla. And the third person in the committee is Devashish Mohanty. These 3 people has been appointed as the All India Senior Selection Committee panel. And this panel will be headed by Mr. Chetan Sharma. BCCI is a non-government organization that controls cricket in India. BCCI's full form is Board of Control for Cricket in India, and it was founded in 1928. You must know the president. The president of this BCCI organization is Saurav Ganguly, and the secretary is Jay Shah. You must not confuse that president is Saurav Ganguly and Jay Shah is the secretary. BCCI controls cricket in India and ICC controls cricket in world. ICC stands for International Council for Cricket or International Cricket Council, and ICC was founded in 1909, and its chairman is Greg Barclay. Its CEO is Manu Shawny from India, and it has its headquarters in Dubai. BCCI has its headquarters in Mumbai, and ICC has its headquarters in Dubai. Let's move forward and talk about India's first mega leather park that is to come up in Kanpur. Uttar Pradesh, Kanpur city is going to have this first mega leather park. UP government is set to establish India's first mega leather park in Kanpur. Kanpur is famous for its leather. Similarly, in previous videos, we have discussed India's first moss garden, which was built in Uttarakhand, and first cow hospital as well, which was built in Assam, and first toy cluster also, which was built in Karnataka. So these India's first are important. So you must know about these all 3. As we have discussed, UP's CM is Yogi Adityanath ji. Its governor is Anandiben Patel. Its capital is Lucknow. It has 80 Lok Sabha seats and 31 Rajya Sabha seats. With this, we will discuss here India's first lithium refinery, which is going to be built in Gujarat. The first lithium refinery of India will soon be set up in Gujarat to boost the nation's efforts towards electrification of transport. The refinery will process lithium ore to produce battery grade material. See, we are going to a new generation which will run its vehicles not on petrol or other non-renewable energy resources, but on on electric vehicles. We are moving towards electrification of our transport system. So if we are taking such a step, we are establishing a refinery, lithium refinery. The upcoming technology has lithium ion batteries to run the transport, to run the vehicles. So such a refinery is important for us in future. It will give us a boost in the transport industry, in the automobile industry. So it is going to be built in Gujarat. Gujarat's CM is Vijay Rupani. Its governor is Acharya Devvrat. Its capital is Gandhinagar. It has 26 Lok Sabha representations and 11 Rajya Sabha representations. Let's move forward and talk about India's first driverless train, which is run by DMRC, Delhi Metro Rail Corporation. This train was inaugurated by PM Modi ji. PM Narendra Modi inaugurated the country's first driverless train operations of Delhi Metro. Delhi Metro was founded in 1995 and its first metro ran in 2002. Its current managing director is Mangu Singh. Let's move forward and talk about FASTag. FASTag has been made mandatory for all four-wheelers, and FASTag works on technology of radio frequency identification. Radio frequency identification, RFID is called, sometimes it is called RFID. So this FASTag has been made mandatory, and this FASTag was launched in 2016. It is a toll collection system, and NHAI this FASTag operates this toll collection. The chairperson of NHAI is Sanjeev Ranjan, and it has headquarters in New Delhi. NHAI stands for National Highways Authority of India. All the highways in the country are under its jurisdiction, its observation. And this is a department which is under Ministry of Transport and Highways, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, and the minister of this ministry is Nitin Gadkari. Nitin Gadkari is the union minister of this ministry. So this was all from today. I hope you liked the session. If you liked it, please hit the like button, share it with your friends, and do subscribe to the channel Vidya Guru. We will come with such informative videos in the future as well. So to get those videos, to get notification of those videos, press the bell icon as well. So for today, thank you.